Hi guys, Miss Crone here. Thought you were done with me now that you're in eighth grade, but now you have to deal with me in the Idea Lab. So I miss you. Where's my DC people? Say what? Okay, cool. So I am here to work with you to help design your projects and help you kind of when the fifth graders come in. We've talked a lot about how to make it interactive, how to make it interesting, and so this is hopefully something that I created that will help you better plan. So first and foremost, I did put down on the bottom of this page that will be on your Google Classroom today. It's something you're going to receive, a general timeline. And I put this on here because I think that transparency is important, meaning that so you know each day what you can plan. On here, you can kind of see general goals that you should have of at least having your supplies by March 11th. Right now, we are on February 12th, and so the goal today would probably be to do this planning and really get a set up your timeline and okay, I know I've got to make a poster. I know I can't just do it in 20 minutes or even just 50 minutes. So being very explicit about what you're going to get done each day. On April 15th, I probably wouldn't plan on that day to have very much working time because we're going to test and present to other groups. Same thing of practice and reflecting and then final practice. So keep that in mind. Once we get down to those last three meetings, it's not going to be a ton of work time. It's going to be more of like fine tuning and tinkering and making sure that we kind of have all of our ducks in a row. Back up top, this up here, I have what your problem to solve is. And that problem that you need to solve is how do you get a fifth grader from Plainfield, Indiana to your booth? What is it that you want them to know? What experience do you want them to have? What feeling do you want them to walk away with? Is it curiosity? Is it, wow, I didn't know that about this job? Or is it excitement, ready to go home and kind of tell mom and dad about what they learned about for the day? So down here, I created this thing. I'm calling it Bart. I don't know. Some dude Bart. Maybe I should have an image of Bart Simpson on there. But it's your booth, audience, role, and tasks. So for your booth, on here, you're going to put remember you can do bullet points here. If you want to add it a bullet point and just keep going down, what are you going to be creating? What's hands-on? What's the information? And maybe this is even linking documents because maybe you have an information document, maybe you have the way that you're keeping it interactive. So keep those things in mind. The audience taking on the point of view of being a fifth grader, of a 10 or 11-year-old. Make sure, I would ask a fifth grader what they're into. They're really not that much younger than what you are. So you'd be surprised about how much in common, this is not for kindergartners. This is not for 5-year-olds. This is for 10 and 11-year-olds who have technology, who play sports, who are in band, who have a lot of different kinds of interests. So don't downplay what these kids might be interested in. Ask them. Role. So what is your role? What are you doing? What's your strength? And this might change. So at first, you might be the one who is the person who is working on the interactive piece, but maybe you get that done, or maybe you don't have all the supplies yet. So you're not going to just sit back and be like, well, I don't have supplies, so I can't work on the interactive piece yet. And that is my role. No, your role is going to kind of change. And then your role might also be helper with your different teammates until all your interactive pieces get in. And remember, you're going to have to, this is kind of one big puzzle. There's a lot of moving parts in here that to make it interesting and to make it interactive. Communication is really going to be key. And what I have on here, this role and task kind of go together. I'm going to show you this action plan template that you're going to fill out. This is breaking down the to-do list and setting deadlines. And that's, once again, that's why I provided that down below. So let's check out this action plan template that you can make a copy of. And the very first thing that you would probably do is kind of delete if you wanted to do my example. But I just put an example of what. Okay, so one of the things my group and I are doing is we're making a trifold poster. But gosh, it's got to be attractive. And I don't just want to do a trifold poster that someone's going to look at. I want to get people there. I want them to be interacting with even just my the more interaction you can possibly have, the better. So my trifold poster might have a list of salary and job choices, and then there might be flaps. And so on top of the flap, there might be a picture, and then underneath it might have the information. And so something that is interactive. Well, how? I need to figure out how long. what do I need to make this happen? What do I have? What do I need? And even on here, I put a link to the trifold document. The more organized and the more you communicate, the better. And on here, let's say that I was in charge of like designing the trifold, but I wasn't actually going to create the trifold. So I put inspiration on here. I put images that I would maybe plan on using. And I would make sure next to my images, make sure next to any words that I put on there that I had maybe instructions, especially if I wasn't the one who was going to end up making the poster. So when someone else went to go print this, they know that this picture goes on top and it's on the flap that's above salary, things like that. The who, once again, break it down so there's no breakdown in communication. Set a date of when you want this done. A, when you want all of the supplies in. B, when you're going to be working on it. And C, when this should be done. And then that why. Is it interesting? Is this your informative piece? Is this your interactive piece? Really use this action plan template. So the next thing that I would put on here is what. So let's say we had some kind of like ping pong activity that the kids would work on that had something to do with my job cluster. And so I would break down each piece once again. What, how, who, why. Why are we doing this? Who's doing each step? How are we going to do each step? And then what is it that we're actually doing? So I'm really hoping that this will help you stay organized. I am available to you. I'm available to your teachers. So if there's anything that you felt like that you needed help with, keep in mind of your general timeline that we actually have less time than what we really kind of like think that we maybe have. We are going to be heading to spring break on March 25th. And then after spring break, really, we only have like 2 solid working days after that. And then it's going to be really of like fine tuning and making sure that we have everything that we need. So, but I trust you guys to be successful. And I really look forward to seeing what you do. Like what a unique experience to be able to share this with the 5th graders of Plainfield and show them what our 8th graders are good at. So I look forward to see what you create.